music, the bare feet stomping on the floor. Well, now, when you hear the music, you can't sit still. If your brother won't talk, all right, your sister will. Come on, everybody. direction. Honky tonk, honky tonk. Get me the honky tonk blues. I play nice and quiet. Honky tonk, honky tonk. Get me the honky tonk. Come on now, you know the rest with me. Honky tonk, honky tonk. Get me the honky tonk blues. No funky doctor. No doctor now, 'cause I know what's ailing. Yes, I do. I don't need no doctor, 'cause I know what's ailing me. All I need is my baby. You know, I'm in misery. I don't need no doctor. I don't need no doctor. No doctor now. A prescription to be paid. No doctor. I don't need no doctor. I don't need no doctor. My prescription to be filled. No doctor, I don't need no doctor. All I need is my baby. You know, you are all mine. I don't need no doctor. I don't need no doctor. Doctor said I need rest. Only pretty to live. Leave me safe out of home. All I need is my baby's sweet charm. Medicated lotion, it wouldn't do. I don't need no doctor. I don't need no doctor. I don't need no doctor. A little bit prouder now. I want to hear it just more to the flow. One more thing. Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, baby. Yeah. Singing way back that man. Come on, rock, baby. Way back, come on, look out. Devil takes his own to morning for you one more. Green, number. Hey,
All right, on the Barry Richards Show, we're here. We have Humble Pie with us from England, and you are?
Peter Frampton.
And what do you play, Pete?
Guitar.
Guitar. Brilliant deduction on my part. And you are?
Jerry Shirley.
I don't know if they can hear you, Jerry.
Jerry. Shirley.
All right. Over here on bass.
Hello, Shirley.
Greg.
All right, and of course, you know what to tell us your last name?
That's Steve.
I'm Dirk Bogard.
All right, they're going to
Sitting
do.
in for-
Who are you sitting in for? Who's Dirk Bogard?
It's Steve Marriott standing.
Okay.
Tom Mix is standing.
Let's do. You want to do something out of the Rock On album? Want to do Rolling Stone?
Right.
All right, here's Humble Pie. They're going to do a big long set for you, acoustically and everything. And this is from the album Rock On. This is called Rolling Stone.
Thank you very much.
Story go like this. Number one. Say I wish I was a player. You could see. I wouldn't have none of you coffee shop women playing around with me. Yeah. I'm telling you, you won't get to me. Cause what I'm trying to tell you is I'm a rolling Here come part two. Hey. I wish I was a swimming. I'd have all you fashion magazine women running after me. Yeah.
Then I moved up to the milkshake counter. Saw the skinny chick that was serving my vanilla. She was alright, kinda skinny on the side, long blonde hair, small boobs. I said, sure like to stay with you, babe, but I'm in a band traveling on the road. I want to tell you
Well, I presented the Old Grey Worcester test for something like 7 years, during which time I literally must have introduced hundreds and hundreds of bands on the show. So it's funny how some really do stick out in your memory, in particular performances, you know, that you can recall almost completely as they were. And that's very much the case with me with the next one. Humble Pie were in the studio when we were still in the small studio, Presentation B, so there wasn't a lot of room, but there was a fantastic atmosphere about this particular session. The Blackberries were in fabulous voice, and Steve Marriott was doing the definitive Artful Dodger. This is just great. It's called Black Coffee.
We really do have some fine vocalists in this country, I think. Ones that come to mind immediately: Robert Plant, Paul Rodgers, and of course Stevie Marriott. Humble Pie, along with the Blackberries, one from the new double album Eat It.
Get my fingers working. Clean the ears. Something I wrote for a very sweet lady that cut my hair this morning. And it's not aptly called To Absent Sailors. to be where I dared me to go. Voice goodness. Well, it's right in front of you, it's so hard to see. But there it was, so all about, you know, it took me a while to suss it out. And what I lay down up my snout didn't help me none. You held my soul in your hands, sifted through your fingers like fine silver sand, baby. Well, I don't want a swimming pool, don't want records on my wall, just want you, that's all, say no more. Well, I laid all my cards on the table. I can give you what you need, now I'm able to. Now I'll tell you how I feel, I hope you come through. 'Cause if you're the sea, then I'm your rock. And if I'm a foot, then you're my sock. And if I'm a key, then you're my lock. So open up, don't go away all alone. And don't leave me here, babe, with this one-way telephone. 'Cause without you, I ain't no big shot, even though I hit the jackpot. 'Cause I just want you, that's my long shot, I'll say no more. Yeah, yeah.
This is our song called Natural Born Woman.
She
down here at the Rainbow Mall. Get down the Rainbow. Well, I'm sure sweating my guts out. All right. Get right on the floor, boys. Turning down the PA system. Get the drums down, y'all. Everybody feeling all right. Everybody feeling all right. You know, I feel pretty good myself. Sing it. 30 days in a hole. Come on.
of a baker. The Small Faces are Steve Marriott, lead singer and guitarist, Ronnie Lane, bass guitarist, Kenny Jones, drummer, and Ian McLagan, organist. The number you've just heard, Song of a Baker, comes from their new album, and so does Lazy Sunday, which they released as a single about 2 months ago, and which is still hovering around the top 30. Lazy Sunday was written by Steve Marriott and Ronnie Lane, and it goes like this.
Wouldn't it be nice to get on with me neighbours? But they make it very clear they've got no room for ravers. They stop me from grooving, they bang on me wall. They're doing me crafting, it's no good at all. Lazy Sunday afternoon, I've got no mind to worry. I close my eyes and drift away. Here we all are, sitting in a rainbow. Oh, blimey, hello, Mrs. Jones. How's your bird lumbago? That's incredible. I'll sing you a song with no words and no tune. I'll sing in your party while you're south down the moon. Oh, yeah. Lazy Sunday afternoon. I've got no mind to worry. Close my eyes and drift away. a rooty-dooty-doy-day. A rooty-dooty-doy, a rooty-dooty-doody. There's no one to hear me, there's nothing to say, and no one can stop me from feeling this way, yeah. Crazy Sunday afternoon, I've got no mind to worry. Close my eyes and drift away. I've got no mind to worry. Close my eyes and drift away. Close my eyes and drift away. Close my eyes and drift away.
Lazy Sunday. The Small Faces' new album is one of the most idiosyncratic records on the market. It's called Ogden's Nut Gone Flake. It's packed in a circular jacket, and one side of the record is taken up entirely by a musical narrative called Happiness Stan. It's a kind of fairy story for our time. The Small Faces supply the music, and the storyteller is that master of gobbledygook, Professor Stanley Unwin. Here, then, is the story of Happiness Stan.
Are you sitting comfortable, two square on your body? Then we'll begin.
Once upon a time in a land of dreams, where the sky was silky soft and full of colored dreams, deep inside a rainbow lived happiness Stan, in a small Victoriana chariot. Evening moody hill comes soon, Stan can sit and watch the moon, watching as the white light slowly makes the night bright. I'll soon be by while time stands still.
Now, like all fairy stories, this one begins once upon a Tito. And Happiness Stan, whose whole life symbolised by the multicoloured radiate and scintillate of the multi of the rainbow, lived in an ancient Victoriana charabanc. And this is the old type, sit up and beg, rotate to poppy with solid wheels all rotated there, very flat, even to squash your toe neighbours. Oh, yes. Now, he had a great problem, because when Stan looked up in the heavenly abode as evening approached, he saw this half moon and dangly there and thought, oh dear, where has escaped gone or stolen, strayed and begged this other half of the moony most? Oh dear. So he put his eyes down and walk it ploddy through the forest, thinking to himself, oh folly for this other half moon. Oh dear. Where at, man, he thought, where at? Oh dear. after many a long mile of stretch and walk it, Stan had a deep hunger grumbly in the tumbleoder, which we all do, and wouldn't he, after Tritley out, Huffalo down to Hill and Dale? Oh, yes. So he sit him down on a leafy blanket, reached in his pocket, and out come the mincemeat sandwiches, when...
If I were you, I hope you'd do the same. There's no doubt I'd help a hungry fly out. To see you in a fix is really such a shame. I'm so hungry, I could die, and I wanna be a living fly. My name's Stan. I'm on a quest. Take your pick. Take nothing less.
Fly, who would share Stan's mincemeat sandwich, was so happy and grateful that he says, "How can I repay your hospitality, Stan, for that?" And Stan looked at the fly and said, wistful in his eyeball, scintillated there, "If only you could tell me where the other half of the moon dangling in the heavenly boat has gone. This is my great worry." And the fly said, "Oh, if I knew, I would tell you. I know someone who does, and I could transport him most if only I were big enough." Now, little did he know that Stan had the magic hold of the powers. He lifted up his arm and did a wavy most, all magic hold and wording. And he said, "If all the flies in the world were one fly, what a big fly that would be!" Transforming those their deep joy. And then the fly said, "Not only will I take you there, but I will sing you a song too."
Would be yesterday. The sun is surely just a thought away. Where visions that men fail to put to words to tell, and music that they try but cannot play.
the takeoff of the fly was of such force, the great velocity, it escaped several miles per several, just like a rocket in orbit. Now, after 7 long days of coasty motion in this orbit field, they gradually came down through a gradient of 34, which is degrees, and flat on a belly cake land, if you'll excuse the expression of that. It was in a beautiful clearing before a lovely forry, leafy of that. And the fly pointed towards the forry with a hairy forefinger and said, "I must leave you now, Stan, but in there, Mad John," and mark it the words. Not only will he give you the answer to the lost half moon, which is your great worry of it in your Mylode, but also he will give you the philosophy of life in itself. Now, I must go now. Now, Stan was very much appreciative of all this solving of his proploads of the life itself, being a simple old man at heart, and he gathered the fly towards him and cuddled him. It's got so big now that the whiskers protrude and tickle him in his ear, goes, cause them both to chuckle, a fly and a human will laugh for that, and he left him. Now, and so he went off.
That lived in the greenwood. Nobody knew him or what he had done, but mothers would say to their children, beware of Mad John. John would sing with the birds in the morning, laugh with the wind in the cold hand of night, but people from behind their curtains said he's not quite right. John had it sauced. He was living the life of a tramp. Yes, his bed was the cold and the damp, but the sun was his friend. He was blue. So here was a wise one who loved all the haters. He loved them so much that their hate turned to fear. And shaking from behind their curtains, the loved ones would hear.
Stan groping forward in the foray, he focused to himself the words, marked it, Mad John, Mad John. And then he came to the cave. Now, all was murky as he grasped his eyes towards the background of this murky, inky blackness drape. And then suddenly he saw a slightly sort of everfade of light which is surrounding most of the human form. Ah, it was Mad John. What? Long beard and tangle. He must have been 34 years with hermit growth it on their sort of follicles as hair grown. And there was this long robe trimmed with a hermy motion, this radiated light all around this character of man who was obviously deep depth of knowledge in his pose of form. And he said, there's Wellcoat here, man. Where you at, man? Stan, Wellcoat. You're not worried about that moon-dangling man there, are you? He said, yes, I was with. He said, come with me. And he clasped him around the shoulder bowl with his long, fine, slendery arm pegger, and walking him through the mouth of the cave and looking up there, and says, "Oh, fully moon there." And the man said, "Yes, Dan, oh dear." He said, "You know what it is? 7 long days, and there's answer to the moon which rotates in the orbits around you." And it smote Stan through the eyeball like a 7-ounce plagiam across him thirst. And so anyway, he said to Mad John, "Wasn't there something else which the fly transport me used to tell you?" Yes, there is," he said. "You just listen to this."
Up every morning and it's there. So live as only you can. It's all about enjoy it, 'cause ever since you saw it, there ain't no one can take it away. So life is just a
a bowl of old grain. What you say has made it very clear. So be sure I'll live as best as I can. And how can I remember to keep it all together when afternoon is taken away? Well, the memories when you come down, friends, I give it an happy day's toy down, paper smile. You clap twice, lean back, twist for a while. But when you're up together and feeling out of tune, you sing this special song with me. Don't worry about the moon looks under itself. Nice, nice, nice. I give it a happy day's toy down, paper smile. Oh, clap twice, lean back and twist for a while. Well, now you've got the hang of it, and there's nothing you can't do with it. Well, if you're very shrewd with it, you can't go wrong. Give us those happy days, toy town, newspaper smile. You clap twice, lean back, or twist for a while. Now you've got the hang of it, there's nothing you can't do with it. You're very shrewd with it, you can't go wrong.
So it was all happy Dale, workload and read the newspaper load of that. And they had a wonderful party. The fly did a buzzy most round the ceiling. Little boy Blue came and left his hormones behind and stuffed his corn there with his trumpet and brought his melotrophy. Oh dear, knees up Mother Brodie, Huckleberry my thimble, and he freaked them all out, an enormous mind blast. Oh dear. And then's the cool of the early morn, they gathered together and snoozy motion. But stay cool, man, stay cool, won't you?
Happy days, toy town, newspaper smile. We'll get twice, lean back, twist for a while. Well, now we've got the hang of it, there's nothing we can't do with it. Now we're very into it, we can't go wrong. Oh, yes!
And as the sun sets over Toyland, we say farewell to the Small Faces. Next Friday night on Colour Me Pop, it'll be a group called The Eclection. Until then, it's good night.
And now we're very into it, we can't go wrong. Give me a happy days, toy town, newspaper smile. We clap twice, lean back, we'll twist for a while. Well, now you've got the hang of it, there's nothing you can't do with it. Well, if we're very into it, you can't go wrong. Give us a happy days, toy town, newspaper smile. We'll clap twice, lean back, we'll twist for a while.